watch him when he walks. He had platforms like this, and I was like so bad, just wanted to like bump into him. And oh man, you know, so all those jokes were going on. But he had like the high platform shoes on, and we're just like, you know, I mean, we're kind of mean. We're like, watch, he's gonna fall. But no, he turned out to be pretty cool. But you know, I mean, you know, when you get showered on by the faucet. Go watch the episode, I'm serious. Me and Johnny were talking about, I'm like, oh yeah. When you get older, you're like, he did pee. Sorry, kids. Sorry. Have you seen the faucet episode? No, I was talking right behind her. Have you seen that episode? What's your question? What's your question? Do you have a question?
I did.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Did I lose ever fall?
No. Darn. Go ahead, you had a question, right? Okay, morphing question.
Can you please do my morphing?
What?
Do the morphing time, please.
Oh, it just says morphing time?
Yes, please.
Alright. It's morphing time! Alright, yes. Well, I love Thai kicks. You know, I always wanted to kick someone in the head. You know what I mean? And it just kind of the fights turned to submissions. Kind of weird, you know. I have like 3 submissions, like what, TKO and a knockout. Yeah, I was hoping a head kick. Man, like just a Thai kick, just boom. Yeah, like spinning hook kicks too. Yeah, spinning hook kicks. I get a lot of people on when I spar. Get a lot of people on spinning hook kicks because you don't expect it. You know what I mean? So, but I love doing spinning hook kicks. Yes. I'm trying to figure out, you a turtle or? Yeah. I'm sorry, next question? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Hey, I posted that thing on, real quick, about breaking the fingers, you know, like that guy from, what was it? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
You did? On Facebook? Yeah. I have a Facebook page, Jason and Frankfurt. Let me show you this real quick. Because I had to re-edit it, and, because I'll tell you why, because the turtles thing, but let me tell you. So this guy bends his fingers all the way back, and so I added a sound effect to it, and so it looked like I was, and I did say, because the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirt, and everybody on Facebook, like they didn't go to the finger thing that was cool. They're like, oh, what's wrong with the turtles? What's wrong with the turtles? I'm like, dang, I had to edit it, so I took that out. Like, you know, I was just joking. I'm like, this is what happens when you wear a turtle suit, you know? I mean, come on. Turtles are good, but watch, I added a sound effect in here. Whoa. Jason and Frank, now listen, this is what happens when you wear a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirt, all right? All right, this might hurt a little bit. So I broke his fingers, dude. So what's your question? No. So I had to re-edit it and take the turtle thing off. Go ahead. Sorry.
My question is it hard to break out of the Power Ranger shell when you move on to anime?
Well, I was, I did karate my whole life, you know what I mean? And I don't think it's hard when you have skill. I think it's hard when you don't have skill, you know what I mean? I think it's hard when you go in there and make a fool of yourself, like, oh, you know, and people, you know, make fun of it and stuff, and you know, I hit people. I mean, they don't spark, you know. And then, you know, if you fight the Green Ranger, you kind of lose it anyway, right? Because if you beat me up, then I'll be like, tell all the people, man, they'll be like, all the kids will hate him. Like, you beat the Green Ranger, and if you get beat up by the Green Ranger, it's like, ha ha. Got beat up by the Green Ranger. So, as far as crossing over the line, I think when I owned 2 schools when I started Power Rangers, so they went through a period of, oh, do you really know karate? It's like, yeah, that's what I did my whole life, ever since I was 4. But as you get older, you get more credibility, and then Black Belt Magazine starts recognizing my style, and then you're kind of out there, and then you have good students that are, you know, kicking some behind, and so that definitely helps you out a little bit, you know. But you have a target on your back wherever you go. If someone just wants to say they knocked the Power Ranger out, you know, so which makes you train harder. You know, do you guys watch MMA like Gina Carano, whatever his last name is?
Yes.
She's a girl in MMA. I sparred her at Master Toddy's when I dropped weight to 160 for a fight, and she was about 160. So we're fighting, boom, boom. She's a hard hitter. She was the Strike Force champion on HBO, And we were hitting each other, bam, 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 and then afterwards she's like, she hits hard too. So you know, I was holding back a little, but not too much. After a while, I was like, yeah, boom, boom, and anyway, and afterwards she was like, man, I didn't want to get knocked out by a Power Ranger, and I'm like, well, I didn't want to get knocked out by a girl. So, but the people I train and stuff, you know, my wife that's over there in the wave to everybody, you know. Well, she's a really good fighter and stuff like that. So some guys come in, she's a really good fighter, she really is. But it's funny, I tell guys, yeah, spar her, and she's like, boom, boom, kick. And I'm like, whoa, Pink Ranger. Of course, if the Pink Ranger would fight, she'd be like, Tommy, help! I'm like, shut up. Sing that home. Tommy! Anyway, sorry. Okay, so yes, we had a question, and then we'll go here, and then we'll go there, and then we'll go behind you, if I can remember that. Go ahead.
Since you already own the two karate schools, have you had any input in the choreographed sequence in Power Rangers?
Well, oh yeah, when I first started. Yeah, because when I booked the show, I got the, you know, I was trying to tell people how Hollywood works. You know, you go to a casting director, they call you back, you go through another thing, you got to go back, you go through another thing. They'll have the final call with all the producers sitting at the table. I went straight from the audition, straight to callback. And there was no guys. So I was the only one. So all the you know, all the roles were, there was 10 girls and like one guy. So then I started thinking, man, maybe they want a girl for my role, so I was going to take them all out, but then I was like, no, then I'll be the Blue Ranger and end up in jail. So then anyway, well, you know, the Blue County, not really the Blue Ranger, but anyway, so I was helping them a lot, and I was in the hallway before I got hired, and I was sweating because I was a teacher. I was like, do this, do that, come here, fix your form, and then I started sweating. I was like, man, I hope I get the job, because, you know, I'm working like double time right now for nothing, you know, and it wasn't about the money, but I just wanted to act. I would have done it for free. And back at that time, no one really did karate. So when I auditioned, it was all actors. Like you train in the very beginning, like, oh yeah, where do you train? Oh, I'm a, you know, 2-stripe black belt. You know, and we call them degrees. Anybody that's got a black belt, you know, technically you should call it a degree. So when I met Austin, he was a 2-striped black belt. But anyway, I did the audition. Sorry, you're still my best friend. I do have those shirts available at my booth downstairs. You know, so I went to the audition and busted out this karate stuff. And so when I was on the show, yeah, it was the very beginning. If you look at the episodes, when it changed, the style of the TV show is episode 14 with the Green Ranger, the alley scene, throwing the trash can lid, doing the wall flips. If you go look at those fight scenes and compare those fight scenes to episode 14, Isaac Florentine brought out that Hong Kong style of fighting. Then it all changed. Then Koichi Sakamoto. So go look back at episode 1 through 13. The fight scenes are master shots. They're not like close-ups of throwing the, you know, the trash can lid and spinning it and hitting putties. So that's when the fight started changing. So when, you know, stunt guys would come in, like Alpha Stunt Team, we didn't really, you know, they were pretty good. I mean, everything was different when I started the show because everything had to be wide and circular. The punches had to be like this. You know, and where I'm from, punches are like this. Bam! Straight down the pipe. It's more effective. So everything had to be, yeah, straight down the pipe, baby. Eat that. How you like that? Everything had to be big and smooth. You know, the kicks were bigger, so everything was a lot bigger. So it was, I did choreograph a lot of stuff. The tree flip was my stuff all the time. And then the movie, I was like, let's do the tree flip. And they're like, well, it's an $80 or $1 million movie, and, you know, you can't do the tree flip because if something happens to you. And I was like, oh. So that's why I was practicing the tree flip with Johnny Bosch and crashed. Because I was like, I'll show him, and then I slipped and hit my face on the ground. And I had to film half the movie like this because my whole side of my face was like numb and gone and stuff like that. So healed up eventually. I mean, you know, I don't know. I healed up. Hit my head pretty hard, so I'm okay, I guess. So anyway, yes, with the bright light in the back.
Yes, when.
White light episode.
Where are your schools located?
There's one in Los Angeles. I have an affiliate in New Jersey that I'll be going to in October. So I'll be out there in October. And then I have 3. I almost forgot. Right? 3 in Houston. Just opened our new one in Pearland. And I have more memorabilia stuff there than any school. You know, like showcases and stuff. And the Power Rangers went through this transition of, oh yeah, cool, it's Power Rangers to this, to starts turning classic. You know, you feel like an old classic car. Whoa, look at that car. That's us, 20 years classic. Whoa, look at old school Tommy, dude. What happened to him? No, I'm just kidding. Yes, way in the back.
When are you fighting again, and what belt are you in jiu-jitsu?
Purple belt in jiu-jitsu, so cross train a lot and stuff like that. Hold on. Sorry. It was just false alarm. Yeah, purple belt, but my major style is, straight karate, Muay Thai. I like that. But with the purple belt, I just learned to really stay out of submissions and not really focus a lot on submissions. But now, Crew James at my school and Felton at my other school, we do a lot of training and stuff. Jiu-jitsu just takes time, so, and then for me, there's no rush. My 7th degree black belt, I won't get another degree for another 8 years, and really, who cares, I just remember when I was 18, and I broke the side of my foot, like, slipping. Oh, I broke the side of my foot. That I never forget. I never told the story. I don't even think you know it, Tammy. I broke the side of my foot running next door to get the fax machine for a show called Phantoms, which was Power Rangers. So I was running across and slipped and kind of broke the side of my foot, and then I had the audition for the show. So I went to the doctors across the street, and they're like, well, you should cast it. I'm like, I don't want to cast it. I'm just kind of hard-headed when it comes to doctors. So he's like, well, 10 years from now, the foot's really going to hurt. And I'm like, who cares, doc? 10 years from now, I'll be old. And I was only 28. So it's like 20 years, and but yeah, I do remember that. It just takes time, though. Yes?
Did you date any of your coworkers while you're doing Power Rangers?
No. You got to understand, all right?
No, I wouldn't.
When you get a roommate, it's all fun and dandy for the first month or two, right? Until you're living with them again and again, and all their habits and all their bad stuff. We worked with each other for, 12 to 16 hours a day. The last thing we kind of wanted to do was like, let's have a Power Ranger dinner, but they just kind of become, to be honest with you, become more of a family because you're used to everybody. You see everybody every day and stuff like that. So, yeah, no, everybody was just kind of like a family. Dave was a good friend of mine, Dave Yost. We hung out and, he's a really nice guy and all that stuff, but, just, I don't know. Oh, yeah, did you ever go?
No.
Oh, okay. He was number 4, dude, like 10 ago. I'm very professional, so when the cameras roll or I have to be on set, I'm very professional. I really take business as business and personal as personal.
Nobody's really knowing that.
Austin. I'm not going to lie. Go listen to Amy Jo's No Pink Spandex interview that she did. She just did an interview. She talked, I don't know if it was recorded, she talked a little bit about Austin. There's just too many. What are you in? What do you really like? What do you like? What, sports or this? Or are you into comics? Or what do you really?
Music, movies.
Music? What, do you play music? And what do you play? Okay, I don't play guitar. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a famous guitar player. And I hit the A and G strings, and I just really jam the heck out of that guitar. The chords are, you'd be like, you don't know what I'm talking about, right? And so that's kind of what it is. And you can take it for one day, but go ahead and let me tell you for 5 days how I'm a famous guitar player in India. But I don't have no YouTube videos, but I can jam the guitar. So you bring a guitar to set. I don't play those kind of guitars, man. I play professional guitars. So after a while, I start like, for so many years. But I didn't really hate it. I was a jokester on the set, so, of course, I could dish it out. Hand it out, but, dish it out. I can't take it. I don't want to do jokes no more, But I didn't hate anybody. I'm professional enough. There's two people. You have personal. You can either like them as a personal or don't. And then when it comes to business, you just have a business relationship. So when it's time